The court had been told that the gang of men had preyed on white girls in the Lancashire town of Haywood, in some cases raping them, in the words of the judge, callously, viciously and violently. Gerald Clifton went on to say all of you treated them as though they were worthless and beyond any respect. One of the factors leading to that was the fact that they were not part of your community or religion. A number of people today have joined in the calls for further investigations as to whether the case was dealt with by Greater Manchester Police with a degree of political correctness.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, while the media is obsessed with the horrific, tragic killing of 3 Muslim students in North Carolina, which apparently, right now, there seems to be no link to it to being a, and I hate this term, hate crime against Muslims. You have to hate someone to go shoot them in the head, but it appears that this guy was a nut, a murderous nut who killed over noise and parking spaces. Yet the media is treating this as if, you know, I don't know, it's the biggest story of the year. But in Great Britain, as Robert Spencer, director of Jihad Watch and New York Times bestselling author who joins us, discloses in a great piece, there are hundreds of Muslim rape gang cases that have now been discovered in the UK. Robert, what's going on over there?
It's really extraordinary, Steve. There have been so many, well over 1,000, actually tens of thousands of girls. Some people estimate as many even as 1 million girls all over Britain who have been abducted, victimized, brutalized, pressed into prostitution and sex slavery by Muslim gangs who are operating according to the Quran's permission to men to take infidel girls, the captives of the right hand, and use them as sex slaves. It's really the same justification that the Islamic State used when it abducted all those Yazidi and Christian women, and that Boko Haram in Nigeria used when it abducted those girls that Michelle Obama was upset about.
And Robert, who are these girls? These are Muslim girls, non-Muslim girls, all girls, what?
Non-Muslim girls, and it's because the captives of the right hand, these sex slaves in the Quran, they have to be non-Muslim. And it's just another manifestation of Islamic supremacism. But the worst aspect of the story, Steve, is that British authorities have known about this for years, have covered up the extent of it, have declined to prosecute, and are continuing to do so for fear of charges of racism and Islamophobia and of losing Muslim votes.
So this is going on. How one might ask, how could it be possible that up to 1 million girls, 1 million families, tens of millions of people who know these girls are affected, and none of us here really know about it?
Well, the people know, but the political elites have covered it up. I mean, a prime example is the city of Rotherham, where 1,400 girls were brutalized in this way. And that only came out last August when there was an expose done, an investigation done, that showed that the Rotherham city officials had actually actively covered this up because they were Labour Party, and Labour Party wants Muslim votes. And they did not want to anger the Muslim community. But now it's February, and there are new reports that these people who perpetrated these atrocities are still walking around free in Rotherham. There's still been no investigation, even after the investigation the initial investigation exposed the cover-up.
All right, Robert, we got a minute. How many of these girls have gone back home, have been, returned, or have come back, or escaped, or told their story?
Well, thousands have, because we do know about, I mean, it's only now coming out, the extent of this, but it is still going on. And there are still girls being abducted. Some of the victims in Rotherham were recently quoted as saying in the British media that they see their abductors driving around free, unstopped, uninvestigated, and they even have new girls in the cars with them.
Well, do me a favor, make me a promise. You'll never, ever, ever tell this story to CNN, because I think their heads would collectively explode. Robert, thank you very much. Keep up the great work.
You too, Steve.
Robert Spencer, director of Jihad Watch, ladies and gentlemen, best-selling author. What an incredible, horrific story. But it speaks volumes that you haven't heard about it, probably. Until now, Give Me 5 is next.